Hey guys, it's Will from the Back 40, and I hope you're having a great day. I am on my way to the beautiful state of Virginia. I'm going to be there over the next 3 days doing a meet in the middle event. I've stopped for some gas along the way, and if I'm being completely honest with you, some Mike and Ike's. And I've been listening to the president's press conference from the White House, where the president of Turkey, Erdogan, patiently sat by and listened to the president of the United States gaslight the people of rural America and indeed the entire world. And I'm just going to put this out there. There were so many different things that were sophomoric and third world and made no sense. But this video is going out directly to my fellow farmers and ranchers around the United States of America. Are you going to allow yourself to be gaslit again? The president says, hey, you want to take a side break here, little sidebar. Just want to let the farmers of this great country know that we're going to set aside some tariff money to help you out. And don't worry, the payoff is coming. The payoff for the tariffs, it's coming. Just hold tight. It's on its way. First of all, farmers and ranchers, the tariff is a tax on the American people. I would really encourage you not to go out in public and say that it wasn't the American taxpayer that paid for the bailouts that are coming. It was the tariffs. I would really encourage you not to say that. I would really encourage you to do just a little bit, a modicum of research to understand what about 35% of us farmers understand. And that is that companies in the United States pay these tariffs and they pass it along to their consumers. And in the end, it is nothing more than a tariff tax on the American consumer. So every dollar that comes out of quote unquote the tariff money that's been raised is money that came out of the American consumer's pocket. And you would do well to remember that when you're out there bragging about the fact that it was tariff money that paid for the subsidies that are coming. Second of all, how long are we going to sit around and buy into the president's argument that good things are coming for American agriculture as a result of the tariffs? Why can't anyone in this administration, including the agricultural secretary, explain what that looks like? Why can't they explain what that looks like? Why can't they say, here's how it's going to pay off? This is how the tariffs are going to pay off. Because all of the experts across the board, Democrat, Republican, independent, economic experts here in the United States and internationally, say there is no payoff. Agricultural purchasing is the easiest way for countries to strike back against the tariffs that the United States of America is leveraging around the world. This is why we've lost 35% of the markets in China and growing every day. This is why China only used to buy 13% of their row crop commodities from Brazil. Now they buy over 40%. This is why we just had a major purchase of soybeans from Argentina and not from the United States of America. Nobody in this administration can explain where the payoffs are coming from in regard to these tariffs for American agriculture. We are being gaslit, and a lot of you are still falling for it. It is time. It is time. We experienced this during the first 4 years where we needed the biggest farmer bailout in the history of this country, in the last year of the Trump administration and the first 2 years of the Biden administration. And here we are again looking at the biggest farmer bailout in history because of the fact that we have lost row crop markets all over this world. And I'm just telling you, don't go out there and tell people that it's being paid for by the money collected from the tariffs, because that money came directly out of the pockets of the American people. And don't be gaslit anymore. It is time for farmers and ranchers across this country, even if you can't admit you were wrong, just admit you were lied to and step up and say, you're not buying what this administration is selling anymore. You're just not buying it. They've cut billions of dollars, $137 billion they've cut from rural health care. And they gave you $50 billion of that back, and they're asking you to thank them for that? As your rural hospitals close, the hospitals that are going to service your grandkids and your kids, if they're ever injured in a farm accident like I was, or if you ever have a major health emergency which causes you to need health care, they cut $137 billion from that, gave you $50 billion back, and they want you to come crawling on your hands and knees to say thank you? They're closing your rural schools. All those glory day stories you tell about playing football, basketball, baseball. It's your little rural school that's now closed, or it's only going 4 days a week, or it's been consolidated into a bigger school district. That's because they're not funding your school. And over again across this country, they want to take money out of rural schools and give it to wealthy kids going to private schools in the cities, 80% of whom are already attending those schools in a massive transfer of wealth. And they want you to say thank you? The worst ag policy we have seen in decades, since before World War II, since before the Great Depression. And it ain't just me saying it, and it ain't just Democrats saying it. Hell, even Senator Grassley, bless his heart, was able to figure out where he was long enough to speak out against this crisis and the fact that the president's policies have caused it. If somebody showed up on your farm and wanted to sell you a product and their selling point was, don't worry about it, eventually it'll pay off. I can't tell you how now. I don't know how it's going to pay off. I don't know when it's going to pay off. I don't know how much you're going to have to spend to get it to pay off. You might lose your farm in the process of it paying off, but don't worry about it. It's worth it. It's going to pay off. How many of you farmers and ranchers out there would buy that product, would put your farm, your name, your family on the line to defend that product? None of you would. Not a single damn one of you would. And yet here you are. Here you are defending a program without explanation, without benefit, without a long-term goal. It's not improving manufacturing in this country. Manufacturing jobs are down. Unemployment is up. Interest rates are dropping, and we're celebrating that fact, but interest rates only go down because inflation is going up, because the economy is slowing. You're not benefiting from it. And yeah, cattlemen, I know you're doing well right now, but I've posted this before. Go look at the increase in cattle prices, look at those percentages, and look what president the majority of those percentages came under. I'm not even going to say his name. You do the research. You go look and see where the majority of those beef increases in price came from. Look and see whose administration that occurred under. And then come back to me and make the argument that it's this president that made the beef industry profitable. Because his policies have already cost us nearly $3 billion in overseas beef sales. And what happens when the market stabilizes? What happens when herd sizes catch up? And those markets are gone for good. I've never heard a shit show production like the one I just heard from the White House right here in the United States of America. And the shit show, the shit sandwich that was just delivered to farmers and ranchers in that press conference was only 10% of the overall shit show. Man, if I was ever needed anywhere, it's out in rural America on the road talking about these problems and begging my fellow rural citizens to wake up. Here I come, Virginia. Get ready. I'm looking forward to it. I'll see you in a few hours.